Welcome back to our next lesson in music theory. We've spent some time talking about notes and intervals, and so we're going to take some of that information that we've picked up and learn about triads and seventh chords. So as I was saying, we're going to begin working with chords, which are the basic vocabulary of tonal harmony. We will not be concerned at this stage with how chords are used compositionally, or even what kinds of chords occur in major and minor modes, although we will encounter these topics soon enough. First, we have to learn how to spell the more common chord types and how to recognize them in various contexts. Before we get going on the topic of triads, please complete the musictheory.net exercise recognizing major and minor thirds. This is going to be of the utmost importance when we go to start recognizing different types of triads. The fundamental tertian, or chord based off of 3 notes, is a triad. A 3-note chord consisting of a fifth divided into 2 superimposed thirds. Or in other words, if we start with our first note, there's a third up to the third note of our scale if we're starting on the tonic, and then another third up, which would take us to the fifth. So between 1 and 5, and then 1 dividing those in the middle. There are 4 possible ways to combine major and minor thirds to produce a tertian triad. So we can see here 4 different types of tertian triads. The first one here on the left, this is an augmented triad. We can tell that 2 ways. Either we can see that augmented fifth on between the first and the fifth, or we can see the fact that it's built with 2 major thirds. Those 2 major thirds mean that that fifth will be augmented, but there's 2 major thirds. Then we have our major and minor triads. Both of them have a perfect fifth between the 2 outside notes. Our major triad has a major third on the bottom and a minor third on the top, while our minor triad has a minor third on the bottom and a major third on the top. The other type of triad that we have here is a diminished triad. This is built with 2 minor third intervals. So we can see here their names and how they look when they're stacked on top of each other. Our augmented interval, which is notated using a plus symbol. Our major interval, or major triad, which uses a capital M. Our minor triad, which uses a lowercase m. And our diminished triad, which in classical music uses a sort of degree symbol, a superscript O, or if you're in a more sort of pop or jazz realm, they'll often use a minus symbol as opposed to that plus symbol with the augmented. You might be able to guess from listening to them that in tonal music, the major and minor triads are found the most often, and the augmented the least often. There are also names in addition to the note names for the members of a triad. So the bottom note is our root, the middle note is our third, and the top note is our fifth. Third because it's a third above the root, and the fifth because it's a fifth above the root. We really want to make sure that we study this diagram and examples very carefully before we go on. At this point, please go ahead and complete the 2 musictheory.net exercises recognizing different types of triads. The first one is a little bit easier than the second one, and there's a total of 50 triads for you to recognize. After which point, please complete the questions on the page, including the checkpoint questions. That's where we'll leave things this month, and we'll see you real soon to continue our journey into chords.